what a great honor to talk to you, Natalia, because you've been selected for Canada's Olympic team in the upcoming Olympics in Japan. You, first of all, I just want to get your first reactions about being selected for this, for this wondrous trip.
Yeah, well, thank you, James, and thanks for having me on. And I'm absolutely thrilled to, have been selected to represent Canada to compete in Tokyo. And the whole experience just feels surreal. It's been a great season, and just to, have achieved my goal of making it to the Olympic Games is amazing.
So you're going to be running in the 1500 meter race. Tell me about, I know running has kind of been a thing for you for most of your life. Where did this journey start?
Yeah, well, it started right in Bracebridge, Ontario. So Bracebridge, my hometown, and I started running at a young age. I always loved competing at elementary school meets at Monk, and then competed for BMLSS as well. And it was my dad who kind of introduced me to the sport, I would say, and I just naturally and genuinely loved it. And it was my dad who started our first club for me to compete at the more provincial level. So we called that Muskoka Spartans. But anyway, I just continued on from there, joined a team in Newmarket, and just continued to university, and where I live out west now in British Columbia, and just continue to train with my coach there.
So tell me about the moments leading up to being selected for Team Canada. What happened? What got you to this point?
Yeah, so it's a very complicated year with COVID. As you guys know, a ton of restrictions, a ton of lockdown. So for this year, typically for Olympics, I'll start off by just sharing is you need to get Olympic standard and or qualify in like the top 48 in the world. That's for the 15. That's how many people they send to the Olympics. So you have to kind of check one of two boxes and then place top 3 at the Canadian Olympic trials. But this year, Canadian Olympic trials were up in the air. They ended up announcing probably a month and a half ago that the meet wasn't mandatory. So it was more so another opportunity to perform well and kind of work on those world ranking points. So for me, I had already made the hop across the border. Really fortunate to have my my fiance's family here. So I was based here training and took advantage of the opportunities that I had in the States to compete and try and, check that box of Olympic qualifying standard, because without trials, they were looking at, okay, who's achieved one of these two things and who's performed well. So it was me just in the States competing here, decided to stay here. And luckily I was able to check that box, which made myself being one of 2 athletes who got the standard in the 1500 meters. So although I ran that a month ago, it was kind of a month of waiting to see who else was running in Canada, if anybody was coming close to my time, and kind of crossing my fingers, hoping that my time would stand. And luckily it did. And I got named to the team officially about 2 weeks ago on Saturday.
So, and now on this Saturday coming, you're a week later, you're going to be in Japan. You're going to be flying to Japan. What comes with this training now? What's your regiment like? How do you prepare? I know it's just a couple of weeks away now that you're going to be running in early August. So what's coming up for you?
Yeah, so I will be flying to Japan this Saturday morning. I think it's going to be a very long travel day with the flights and the new COVID protocols and testing and all of that. But I think the biggest thing is just trying to keep routine as normal as possible. So keeping training just as I've been doing the past few weeks. Or months, I will say. I came down to the States mid-April, and since then I've just been communicating with my coach, Chris Johnson, back in British Columbia. So just maintaining that great communication, how I'm feeling day to day, and we'll be in about a week and a half of solid training, and then we get into a good taper so that the legs are fresh and ready to go on race day, which is August 1st. Will be my first heat of the 1500.
Natalia, this is your first Olympics, so you don't really have anything to kind of gauge this on in terms of how it should feel with crowds and people around. But there's not, you're going to be the only one there. It's because of the COVID situation. You can't bring family, you can't bring friends. How does that feel going into that? Do you still feel that connection with these people, even though they're not going to be, by your side?
Yeah, I think it was a shock last year when, Olympics were up in the air, got postponed. I think COVID really taught us to, roll with the punches, realize we can only control what we can. So I think I've mentally prepared for a lot of it that, family won't be there, my fiance, friends won't be able to cheer. But really this year, like the amount of messages and virtual support and just phone calls and messages have meant so much, and a lot coming from my hometown Bracebridge as well, just from past people from high school, teachers, and in the community, which has been really meaningful. And you realize that at the end of the day, it's like, running is great, but just having that, support system and people to join in the excitement really means a lot. So I just want to say thank you to all of you who have reached out. It means a lot.
Natalia, last question. No matter what the outcome here, you are forever going to be an Olympian. How does that feel?
Yeah, again, it feels surreal, and I'm just, super excited and thrilled to have this opportunity to represent Canada. And yeah, regardless of what happens, I know for one thing that I'm going to leave it all out there and do the best I can on that race day.